Rather than take responsibility, Giuliani tried to blame the victims, telling the 9/11 Commission that firefighters heard their evacuation orders, but disobeyed them.
Their willingness, the way I describe it, to stand their ground.
I find that despicable. My son was a Marine. If he had heard the order to evacuate, which he did not because the radios weren't working, if he had heard the order to evacuate, he would have evacuated.
That is the most ludicrous statement that I've heard made by some people, that the firefighters disagreed or ignored the command.
Mayor Giuliani twisted the heroism of my brother to suit his own mistakes of that day.
The mayor who's claiming to run on 9/11 built his OEM center, his communication center, the basis for all decisions to be made on the site of the World Trade Center that had been attacked just 8 years earlier.
I mean, he's the one that made the decision to put their bunker in 7 World Trade Center, which when I was down there on 9/11 that day, I've seen police detectives yelling in the streets that we told him not to put it here, you know, because that was the target of the terrorists.
7 World Trade Center collapsed at 5 o'clock that night, and the Emergency Command Center was never used that day.
Mayor Giuliani was running on the street, and he was talking to the media instead of being in a controlled environment making controlled decisions.
Why? Here is the leader of the city running away from the scene, leaving uniformed personnel from fire and police to deal with the tragic situation that was occurring.
Firefighters began the difficult task of respectfully recovering the remains of civilians and their fallen brothers. But then gold belonging to the Bank of Nova Scotia was found and removed.
Brinks truck spotted at the site. Is that the $200 million in gold?
Yes, it is. I think we have most of it. I'm not sure we have all of it yet.
Within hours of announcing that the gold had been recovered, Rudy pulled FDNY members off the pile, claiming he was worried about their safety.
They found the gold, and all of a sudden, everything changed for Rudy Giuliani. Things didn't change for firefighters, but they changed for Rudy Giuliani and said, don't worry, firefighters will believe whatever I tell them. It's about your safety. We knew it wasn't. We knew it was a lie.
Once the gold was found, they didn't really care about our membership, that they were going to take our dead members and put them in the Staten Island dump was a disgrace. It really was.
When Rudy started his scoop and dump operation, just 101 FDNY members had been recovered. 242 FDNY members and hundreds of civilians would either stay buried at Ground Zero or be removed like garbage and deposited at the Fresh Kills landfill.
Scoop up the debris, dump it in a landfill. The heck with the fact that it was firefighters or others who would never have a funeral for their family.
Families and off-duty firefighters protested Rudy's appalling lack of respect. In response, Giuliani had them arrested. When faced with the public outrage, Mayor Giuliani relented and let FDNY members go back to work on the pile.
I lost my son. He was in a Marriott. He was lost when the South Tower came down.
We found my son on March 25th, 2002, and if Giuliani had his way, my son's body would have never been recovered because he would have closed the site in November because of money and politics, and he wanted the firemen out of there so they could speed up the operation.
Remains were found, and it was a real relief to find those to know, that he wasn't left down there and that he did come home to rest.
We have no idea how he died in the towers. We haven't recovered his remains, so we don't have any information.
Today, we still continue to find remains.
We did need radios that worked. We didn't have them. We did need proper respiratory protection. He didn't give it to us. The things that we needed to do our job even better, we didn't have because of his administration.
So ultimately, the mayor of New York at the time, Mr. Giuliani, he has to bear these responsibilities.
And I blame Giuliani. He was the leader that day. And he was the leader for the 8 years leading up to that.
I wish I could put him on the stand where he'd have to put his hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth.
He's not a leader. He's running on 9/11, and it's all a fallacy.
That's what this is all about. It's the truth of what he did.
And he's making millions, tens of millions of dollars on the backs of my members, as far as I'm concerned.
If you're looking for an effective leader to take this country further, Rudy Giuliani is not to be your choice.
On the heroic memory of 343 dead firefighters, he wants to run for president of the United States. It's a disgrace.